Welcome to another Nerdporial review. We are covering Better Call Saul, episode 606, and the episode's called Axe and Grind. Welcome to the review. Can't wait to talk about this. I took my handy notes, as you can tell right here. And yeah, so Steve is going to be a little bit late. He is behind on the episode. He fell asleep, so you can give him crap when he comes in, but he's still watching the episode. But me just finished it, just like the rest of you guys, and I can't wait to talk about it. And just to let you know, I am, like I said, I'm Nerdporial. I have the name The Admiral because I'm a weirdo who thinks he is one, and this is where it comes from. Admiral. Yep, that's how Khan says Admiral. So that's where I get. That's where the Admiral name comes from. So, in case you're wondering, but yeah, so let's get started on this. Let's get started talking about this episode. I actually thought this episode was pretty cool. It was a great follow up to last week. Last week was hilarious because of especially with Jimmy and Howard and the boxing and all that. Last week, him getting his butt kicked because I mean, let's face it. I mean, would you expect anything less from Jimmy to get his butt kicked? And of course, we also know from last week that Howard has a PI following him. This is a different guy. This is not the same guy that Chuck McGill hired in season 3. And yeah, so also, I mean, Kim also follows up on Kim talking to Viola about perhaps joining, maybe forming like a little club to do this. What was this little foundational thing that's going on? But it was an interesting little thing that we did last week. But the way this episode begins, we get to see Mrs. Wexler and a young Kim, and I'm assuming it's 1980, 1981, maybe 1982, because according to the wiki, Kim Wexler was born in 1968. So I think she was 13 or 14 in that video, or in that first scene. So yeah, so 1982. So it kind of follows up on, I think it was season 4, where Kim is waiting outside of school. It's evening. I don't know. I forget what she was part of. Maybe it was a debate club. Who knows? And she's waiting for her mother. Her mother picks her up really late, and young Kim, smells alcohol, and she's like, "Nope, nope, I'm not riding with you. I'm not riding with you." And her mother's like, "Come on, Kim, get in the car. I'm not playing games with you and stuff." And Kim just starts walking. Kim starts walking, and I think her mom drove like one of those '80s station wagons, Griswold. I forget. I have to rewatch the episode, but we see Mrs. Wexler and we see young Kim again. So it was some people already knew about it, so kudos to them for knowing about it. And say hello to Judo Joker. What's up? Uh, Kim's flashback was great. 15-20 minutes plus Lalo stuff was great. And the cliffhanger, oh man. But I did feel like the middle part was a bit fillery. It kind of was. I don't disagree with that. So let's get started on scene 1, shall we? So we're young Kim, 1980s, like I said, and this takes place at a Svenson's. I don't know if Svenson's is a real place. I wasn't alive in the early 80s. I was born in the early 80s, but I don't know if Svenson's was a real place. I'm not familiar with it, the store. But apparently Kim got in trouble. So she was caught stealing at the store. Now, first I thought this was at a school. I thought she got caught by the principal or by a teacher stealing something, but no, this was at a store. So the store owner asks her if it'll be a one-time thing. So her mother, Mrs. Wexler, comes in. The store owner basically asks her, this is going to be a one-time thing. We find out that she stole earrings and she stole a necklace. And of course, the mom puts on. I thought the mom was serious. I thought they had me going. The mom, I thought the mom was serious. She looked like she wanted to punish Kim, and she wanted to pay every penny back to the store owner. The store owner's like, "Oh, no, it's fine. We just, I don't want, I guess they don't want to look bad and stuff." So they don't want to look bad. So the owner is more forgiving than the mom is. So the mom's like, I got $13. I will pay the 35, 43 whenever I can, whenever we can and stuff. And the owner's like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So, and of course, she's like, you're in trouble, Kimmy. And then they walk out the door, and the owner's like, don't worry about it. Just, just make sure just make sure you talk to your daughter and stuff. And when they walking away, the mom laughs. The mom laughs and says, she's like, I'm proud of you, Kim. You had the guts to pull something like this. And of course she's like, don't worry. She's like, don't worry, kid, you got away with it. And then we see the car. We see the car, and it's got Nebraska license plates. Nebraska, huh? I mean, for Better Call Saul taking place in Albuquerque, New Mexico, the only time you're in Nebraska is when when Saul is far in the future, is a certain Gene Takovich. So this kind of makes me think, this was a theory I had earlier. Maybe Gene or maybe Saul wanted to be in Nebraska to be near Kim. Maybe she would be the key to him getting out of all this. So we'll see. So, what's up? Loki's here. Loki's Morning of Mischiefs. Okay, I haven't watched this yet. I'll throw a like and listen after. Keep rocking, brother. Oh, okay, cool. I didn't know. I had no idea you were watching Better Call Saul. If that is, that's pretty cool. I love this show. This show. This is one of the few shows I've watched from beginning to now, and I've liked I liked every aspect of it so far. And of course, Drill Joker here too says, "Was that the same actor for Young Kim? It's been a few years, so she definitely looks a tad older. Nice touch. Young Kim and Mom's actors are great. I think it was the same actress that plays the mom. But if that was the same child, I don't think either she's not a child. She just happens to look young, which was done quite a bit, which was done quite a bit in the '80s and stuff, which to me is weird, but." I don't know if that's the same actress, to be honest. It's been a while since I watched. It's been a while. I have to rewatch the season 4 episode. I think it was season 4. It was either season 4 or season 5. I forget. Um, but yeah, I'm curious too. It's pretty interesting. So, and Judo Joker says, I have a darker theory about Kim, but I'll share later. I can't wait. I can't wait to hear your theory because I loved your theory last week. So, all right, so that was scene 1, of course. Then we get the opening, and I believe it's the opening. And of course, with this season, the openings are more black and white. They're more distorted, more VHS style distorted and stuff. So just keep that in mind. So, like I said last time, I think the openings and the fact that each season they gradually get more and more distorted is based, I think, is a metaphor for Kim and Jimmy's morality, and Mike, because Mike is slowly losing his soul too. So they're all kind of they're all on the decline and stuff. All 3 of them. So maybe even Gus, I don't know. Well, Gus is just kind of came in. He's there for Mike's story mainly. So, but that's what I think it is. So, scene 2. Scene 2 is very interesting. So, we get to meet. We see Howard's house, and Howard's house, dude. That is a nice house. Like he's got it all. He's got very nice. He's got big closet full of suits, full of ties. Like the first thing we see is I thought it was Jimmy at first, but it's actually Howard putting on his tie. Then he gets up and he starts he puts on a tie, and he has like a shoe roller thing. I don't know if that's supposed to like get rid of like dust and stuff or help kind of make it shine a little bit. I don't know. I've never seen those before. Maybe you guys know. But it was a nice little thing. And then he goes and he makes a first I thought he was making a coffee, but he's actually nope, he's using an espresso machine. And he puts milk in there. So I'm like, oh, he's making a latte. And then we find out he's making the latte for his wife. So we finally meet Cheryl Hamlin, who he brings up at the therapy session in episode 604. So we meet Cheryl, and let's just say it's kind of a tough it's a tough relationship. It's based on basically everything that Howard said. We got to see for ourselves, like what's going on with his marriage and stuff, how they're just not really talking. Like they're saying stuff to each other, but they're not truly talking. They're not truly telling how the other feels. They're kind of cold to each other. Well, more like she's more cold to him. She just says, "Oh, well, we have to do what we got to do. Oh, we're doing an Abramson fundraiser," and then he's like, "Oh, I'm going to be eating dinner with the Appels, whoever they are." Not that it really matters, but hey. Um, but here's an interesting thing. He tells her about his situation with Jimmy McGill. He just lets her know about it, and he's like, "Oh, the guy that the whole thing with Chuck. They bring up the whole thing with Chuck. It's like him." And she's like, "Oh, okay." So she was kind of, I don't know if they're I don't know if she's going to be brought in further down the line. I'm assuming she is. There's a reason why they, they set this up for something. I'm curious what it's going to be. And of course, like I said, it's not easy. It's a very cold. They're kind of cold to each other, kind of like I don't know if any of you watch the original Star Trek, but kind of the way you know Leonard Nimoy Spock and his father Sarek, Mark Leonard's Sarek. Same type of relationship. If you've ever seen Star Trek, if you haven't, that's fine. But it's same type of thing. It's an uneasy relationship and stuff. There's a lot of bottled in emotions that just won't come out. So, and of course, Joe Joker says hashtag leave Howard alone, you bastards. Yeah, I'm curious what they're gonna do. It's a very interesting little it's an interesting little thing that we're gonna see. So, but yeah, so that was so we got to see Howard's house, and that kitchen. I would kill for a kitchen like that. That's a nice kitchen. That's like a chef's kitchen. That's like a nice big restaurant, kitchen with an island and nice stove with the little, you have the ducts right above the stove, to take in any, unwanted, fumes or whatever. Looks good. It looked great. I'd love to, just have all that room to cook. So I like to cook things. I like to make stuff. So um, I should do it more often, but yeah. So, but that was a great. I love that. So we got we're now in the scene with um we're in the HHM now. We're in Howard's office, and he has a private meeting with the PI from last episode, and the PI shows him a whole bunch of pictures, basically telling us almost every aspect of Jimmy's day. I couldn't write it down because it was really quick. Like they were showing picture after picture after picture, like where he goes for lunch, where he gets his coffee, what time he goes to the courthouse, what time he goes to the office. And they found one picture of interest that was noteworthy. And there's a picture of him holding 20 grand and stuff. So at least that's what I caught. So that was the picture of interest. So will it play? Will it play to Jimmy's benefit? Will it play to Howard's benefit? We'll see. So we're now in the veterinarian guy's office. I forget the vet's name. If you guys know the vet's name, let me know. I forgot his name, but they're in the office, and of course, he's basically treating a dog. He's really enjoying that part of it, and of course, he then sees Kim and Jimmy. They're both present, and he looks at Jimmy's face, puts some stuff on him, and of course, Jimmy looks like $1,000,000. They see as they show at the very end of the scene, which I didn't write down, but I remembered. So the fun thing to take away from this is, and somebody, I forget who, somebody I listened to, another YouTuber that talks about theories and stuff, was spot on with they talked about the trailer from last week for this episode 606, and they said that it's possible that Jimmy would take over the contacts. He would be the contact for people that want to kind of delve into the criminal underworld of Albuquerque. So the vet is kind of that guy. Was that guy that he was the one that brought Mike in, so that's how Mike got involved with Nacho and what was his name, Price, the guy that stole that would steal the drugs and make a lot of money, steal the drugs from his company and make a lot of money. Of course, Price bought that stupid bling mobile, the bling mobile. And I love that. I loved how like Mike is like, I am not getting in that thing. And he's like, "Well, take my car. You're leaving that thing." He's like, "I am not getting it." He's like, "Either we take my car or I'm not doing this." And of course, that's how Price. I forget his actual name. Price is his code name, but Price gets his baseball card stolen from Nacho. So Nacho gets his information, goes into his glove compartment when he's not looking, gets his address, and then breaks in, steals his baseball cards, and ransacks the place. And of course, Price does the smartest thing ever. He calls the police. And then, of course, once Mike sees him going into the courthouse, because Mike still worked at the courthouse in season 2, he's like, "We have to have a talk." And of course, then that whole little thing kind of resolves itself after a while. So I'm wondering if that. My question is, I'm wondering if we see him again, Price. It'd be funny just one last time see him. Him and Mike. It's just him and Mike. Mike just rolls his eyes at him every time. So we'll see. But yeah, so the vet kind of is like, he's kind of done with being the criminal courier, not courier, but the contact, for this. He's just, it's getting too overwhelming for him. He doesn't want to do it anymore. And I think then Jimmy basically takes the reins. He's like, "Okay, I'll take over I'll be the criminal. I'll be the criminal contact for everybody." So he becomes the criminal lawyer. And so that notebook in episode 601 that they take from from his mansion, uh, has that's the book. That's the book from 601. That's the notebook that they opened and they closed and they threw it in the box. That was all of his contacts, and of course, all of his contacts are in code. They're all in code, and what does Jimmy say? Jimmy's like, "Oh, I think we found the Zodiac. I think we found the Zodiac killer." Now, if I didn't, if I wasn't familiar with Dirty Harry and of course seeing the movie Zodiac, I would not have gotten that reference. But and plus, if you want to check out my Dirty Harry review, shameless plug for that. But yeah, that was, I thought that was pretty funny. So, and you have to think, like what letters or what characters does he use to write the names and numbers and stuff? Like, well, I'm not going to write this in letters. I'm not going to just leave it out for somebody to do this. So, and it looks like we have our guest. So let me welcome Steve is here.
Oh, hey, man. Sorry I'm late.
No, it's fine. Fine.
My week has been completely screwed up, so I totally
is
got
this your debut? Is this your first time showing your face on a stream?
I guess so. I forgot I had it on with Salty, so just doing some backstage stuff. So I'm like, oh, whatever, might as well keep going. But
okay. So I am at the vet right now. That's how far I got in the story. Okay. So you wanna? Is there anything you want to talk about, like the opening with young Kim and Mrs. Wexler again?
I mean, I guess it gives you a reading into why Kim is sort of the way she is. I mean, just parents, lead the way, I guess is the best way to say it, right? So
yeah, there's something I forgot that I wanted to bring up. It's interesting because you see Kim's mother, who is kind of on the immoral side of things.
Yeah.
Whereas Jimmy's case was the opposite. His father was on the hyper moral side of things. Like he would give, they owned the convenience store. His father would give money to people that needed help. He would let people, people were in need. If people said they were in need, he'd give them milk. He gave that one dude $5. And of course, it was the same. And of course, the dude that I'm talking about is the guy that tells 12-year-old Jimmy, wolves or sheep.
Right.
There's only two types of people in the world.
Well, yeah, and so Jimmy's more annoyed that his father. I guess Jimmy's takeaway from his morally conscious father was, being too morally conscious gets you taken advantage of in life, whereas Kim's mother is polar opposite.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like
she's a wolf. She's a wolf.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Well, yeah, for sure. So, do we lose you? Admiral, where'd you go? I guess it's hello? Well, I don't know where he left off. What's up, chat? Sorry I'm late. Let me see if I can get a hold of him, see what happened to him. I just feel like I'm coming in at a weird time for him to freeze too. Nothing for me to talk about right now. But I guess overall, I like the episode. The beginning was very interesting. Just getting a childhood take on Kim a little bit more, even because we got uh, some of her in past episodes. I guess it was more her mom being late for her, and you could see some of the irresponsibilities from her mother's standpoint.
I apologize. I got cut off. I don't know if it was an internet issue or
It's
something.
all right. Put me on the
Um,
spot there for a minute, man. It's like, whoa, what happened?
you didn't say
It's like,
anything bad about
I'm
me, did
late.
you?
I'm late. You put me on my own. I'm treading water. I don't I don't even know what you're talking about right now.
Maybe I'm plotting a Jimmy and Kim type of thing on you.
Yeah, there
Maybe
you
you're the Howard Hamlin to my Jimmy and Kim,
go.
or Mike. Just
Oh
tell me
man.
what just tell me what I need to do. Or I'll be
Yeah.
honest, Mike. We got to see Mike. We got to see go. I know we're jumping ahead, but one
Mhm.
thing I did take away from Mike, especially the one scene he's in this episode, treats his men like this Breaking Bad supports this. He treats his men really well. Like he gets some food, he gets some coffee. He because he like for one thing he understands that his men are stretched thin and they're really tired. They're doing what 18-hour shifts and stuff.
Yeah.
They're
No,
working
I
around the
think
clock. He has them at his house. Well, I don't know if he has them at his house. I don't think he's been home at all. But I loved how like he had them watching he had men watching his family from across the street without them knowing about it. They think he's
yeah.
in freaking Chattanooga on
Well,
business.
I think that's the first. Do we even know at that point that he's watching his own family? Because I mean, we knew he was watching Kim and Jimmy. I didn't know that we had any confirmation that we knew that they were being he had them being watched. So that he was nervous that Lala was even going to go after him.
Yeah, I think he just kept everybody. He kept all the bases covered. So obviously, he has people on Kim and Jimmy. He has people on his family. He's got
Yeah.
people on
So maybe I
Gus.
missed that. I didn't know that we knew that he was watching his family too. I didn't know that he thought his family was at risk. I guess he's just being overly paranoid. Might as well, right? When he got the
Yeah,
resources.
yeah, because I mean, you don't know what Lalo know. They don't know what Lalo knows. They don't know when he's going to strike and stuff. I thought that was just I just that's the one takeaway that I had from that's the takeaway I had from his scene and stuff. But
Yeah.
I kind of want to go back to the beginning. So I think we were talking about her mother, the mother and stuff. I loved how the mother pretended she feigned anger in front of the owner of the store. Now I don't know anything about. I was born in the '80s, so I've never heard of a Svenson's. I don't know if that's in Nebraska. I don't know if that's a Nebraska type of
Uh,
store.
Spencer's. I don't know.
Svenson's. It's called
Spencer's is
Svenson's.
not that type of store. So I that's not not me either. So it's I mean I guess
Yeah,
I guess they're interchangeable, right? Woolworths back then, or TJ
yeah.
Maxx, or
Well, obviously there was
department
jewelry.
store of some sort,
They have a jewelry section. So I'm assuming it's like a Woolworth
a Macy's
or a
a J.C.
Macy's or something
Penney,
like that.
or
Maybe
hell, it could be even a
a,
Walmart type
a
place.
cheap person's Nordstrom. Maybe okay.
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah, I would assume something with a wide variety of
But yeah.
big
So
box type, big box type thing.
it's like I have $13. I'll pay for this. I'm gonna pay for this. And I was thinking of when her mother did that. I was thinking of how Kim was like, I'm gonna pay for Howard. I'm gonna pay you back every single penny. That's the first thing I thought when her mother was gonna pay the owner or say she was gonna pay the owner. But
Hmm.
she ultimately. What's funny is she played the owner, feigning anger feigning anger and then just say, "Hey, Kimmy, you got away with it. Come on,
Yeah,
that's
yeah, oh
great.
yeah. It's, hey, I
What are you
got you
upset
something
about?"
right out of the bra strap. It's like, hey, and she's like, what the, like, it's sort of interesting seeing young Kim be like, huh, what just happened? That's not what I thought happened. What just
No,
actually happened? That's
it,
what I thought was interesting. But I was like, that's not how I thought how this was going. I thought I was about to get in trouble, and instead you're congratulating me and giving me a present which you obviously stole.
yeah. And like what's funny is I think the reason why Kim tries to behave later is because the typical now this doesn't work for every kid, but there's always a moment in a kid's life. They always have this need to rebel. And I think Kim trying to be straight and narrow, especially in the early part of the show, was her rebelling against her mother and stuff. At least that's how I see it. So that's why she tries to be straight and narrow. And of course then because of Jimmy, she starts crawling, she starts slowly gradually getting back into doing getting into trouble and stuff. So
Yeah,
but we learned that she gets good grades and stuff, so like there's that's where the
I don't
lawyer
think
comes
there's.
in.
Yeah, I mean, she's a smart person. I think it's just she's got that. I mean, as you see at the end of the episode, there's no reason. Well, we'll get there. We'll
Yeah.
get there. Not gonna
Yeah.
not gonna jump to the end. I just got here, just finished myself. I'm jumping all the way to the end. What am I doing? Gonna
No,
ruin the show.
hey, it's just a great episode. And of course, so scene two, like I was talking about scene two. I was just wondering your thoughts on seeing Howard's place. Such a nice place. What was that roller thing that he was using for his shoes? I'm assuming that was cleaning his shoes, like getting all the dust off.
Yeah, I think that's all it was. I think it's just another level of just. I mean, it's exactly what I would expect Howard's place to look like.
I mean, his
Super
partner.
clean, super tidy.
Nice
Everything in its
kitchen.
place.
That was a nice kitchen.
Oh
I'd love to have a
God,
kitchen
I
like
would
that.
die.
Just
Like my kitchen's nice. I would freaking die for that. That kitchen was
yeah,
amazing. Uh, you can obviously. I mean I mean, yeah, it's exactly how I'd expect Howard's place. Expect him to have all the little knickknacks to make sure his appearance looks 100%. 100%. Um,
we'll get to it.
best as it possibly can look, even with cleaning the shoes every time you go out. It's like
Hmm.
100% presentable. Wherever you go. So, I did. Obviously, the marriage is on the
Tense.
rocks.
Yeah, they're
Most
not
like, I
talking.
mean, done.
Like they're
I
talking,
would.
but they're not saying
It's
much.
yeah. That marriage might as well. It's done. I mean, he went to all the trouble of making the intricate
A
coffee
latte.
for her, and
Yeah, that
she
was
just
a
says, "Oh, thanks," dumps it in her thing, and she's like, "All right, off we go." So, yeah,
yeah.
pretty much
She's
what
like
I expected from Howard's
she's
Place.
like I'm gonna have dinner with the Appels tonight. You have the house to yourself. I'm just like
Yeah, yeah, she's just not interested. He's sort of, I guess, which I don't. I mean, we don't know much about the relationship before then, but it's
yeah. We
not
didn't even know he was
completely.
married until like episode 604 when he's talking to his therapist and stuff. And
Yeah, well,
I
I
said and stuff.
don't.
I
Yeah,
gotta stop
I
saying
guess
that.
that's true. I feel like we've seen her somewhere before, though. Maybe it's another show.
Oh, she's in. I heard she's in a whole bunch of shows. I heard she's like in Homeland, and
Is that her? Okay, I'll have to look at
I
it
think
again.
she might have been in House of Cards.
Okay.
What's funny was I put the link up, or I put the link up, on Facebook,
Hmm.
and people were already talking about it, and they were saying, oh, in Reddit there was a leak that his wife would make an appearance, and they were absolutely right.
Yeah.
We meet Cheryl Hamlin in this episode, so I'm
Yeah.
curious if we're going to see her again. I'm assuming they brought her in because they're setting something up with her.
Uh, yeah. I mean, I think it's just. I don't know. I don't know. They got a lot they need to start. Well, I mean, it's coming to a head, but maybe some aftermath with whatever happens here with Howard. I mean, things are blowing up real quick.
Yeah,
But it was good. She's not, he's trying. She's not interested. I think she's just done with all the bullshit that's going on between that she has no control over, frankly. Which, if I probably were in her position, I'd probably be the same way. It's like I don't know what you did or what's caused this weird, wacky relationship you have with your former uh, coworker or subordinate, but it's I'm done. It's just too kooky for me. I'm out of here.
yeah.
That's
He does tell her about Jimmy, like he's having an issue with
yeah.
Jimmy,
Well, at least
and
she's up. Yeah, he's completely upfront with her about it. So
and she's just like, Okay, I'm sure you'll deal with.
She's
She's like, I'm sure you'll deal with it, and I'm going. So like he has his career, and I think she has hers. It's that type of
seems like
marriage, and they're basically drifting, further and further
well,
apart.
it
Kind of the
makes you
way
wonder.
they showed Kim and Jimmy kind of drifting apart in season 4, and of course they played the song "Something Stupid" to kind of showcase that with the two halves of the screen, kind of like screen we're having now.
Right.
Maybe there's something wrong with our relationship right now.
Well, besides me being late perpetually.
New to this chat, came over from another chat that's getting way too crowded. I'm wondering if you came from the take, because they do podcasts too, but they do like 40 minutes after. I think they do podcasts after this too. So, but they've been doing this stuff for years. Like I'm still new to streaming and stuff.
Well,
And they have a nice podcast. Like they have multiple cameras. So this is just two guys, we're in front of our computers. I have a webcam, $100 webcam, and we're just talking.
I have a free webcam that showed up on my doorstep from Amazon that they said keep. It's like, okay, sure.
Yeah, all those YouTubers are really good.
No,
one take, Pete Peppers, the Vivid Kiwi, they're all great. Like they pick up stuff that even I don't spot. So that's how good they are.
I think that's what makes our little thing we got going here pretty special, because we have to have the chat pick up that stuff and tell us about it because we miss it all.
Then we can actually talk to the chat too, because there's only a couple of you guys are talking. So now with them, it's impossible. So you have to understand it's impossible, because they're having their own conversation while a bunch of people are talking to each other. It's like, because I've had over 20 people at one point, and I've had chats flying. It's like impossible to keep up. So I just keep the conversation going between us and let the chat talk amongst themselves. They leave if they leave like a donation or something, then I'll address it. But that's usually how it goes. So, but by the way, welcome everybody.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we are in. So I was curious what you thought of the meeting between Howard and the PI in his office.
I mean, it was. I mean, I think obviously I was pretty much of the mind that it was a setup. I mean, I wasn't sure how Jimmy was going to be setting him up for this, but I think they were fully aware of what was going on, and I to be fair, at that point, I think I had this is where I made me late. I think that's where I drifted off because of my weird day. So I may have missed something. So if I missed something, let me know, because I got to go back and watch this whole episode again. But I know it was what pictures. The one he took most notice of was when he was taking out the $20,000 in cash and being like, what legitimate is happening with $20,000 in cash. So I saw that as obviously. I think Howard is in over his head in this game. I think Howard thinks he's 3 or 4 steps ahead of him with this, just with having a PI, and really they're like, oh, we know you have a PI. We're beyond. We're so beyond the PI game here, Howard. You have no idea what what game you're in. So I think Howard thinks he's real smart, and he's really just playing right into whatever they want, because because Howard's predictable when it comes. I mean, to some of this stuff. I think.
Yeah, Howard's new to this stuff. Like he's just he's playing into their hands and stuff.
Yeah.
Plus, I mean, Saul himself has been Saul kind of learned from Jimmy learned from this through his dealings with Chuck.
Yeah,
and of course, Howard was in on that too. They had a PI. And Jimmy learned his lesson, and of course they anticipated that. So I'm curious with the whole thing with that judge, and that he brings back the camera people, his usual crew, and he has an actor, and they're putting on a mustache for him. I'm curious if that has something to do with Howard's case. I'm kind of trying to piece that together.
Like, well, I think that has to do with what happened at the end.
Yeah.
Because
of course, he finds him he has a sling. Yeah, he has a sling on.
And... Again, I don't want to jump ahead, but
I'm just curious. I'm just curious if that's connected, or if they're pulling something else. I'm assuming that's connected. So, okay. So
I don't know how yet, but I mean, I don't know what. Obviously, the 20. I mean, they got pictures of him and the 20 grand and all that stuff. So obviously, he's paying him for something.
So they got to get new pictures. That's how the episode.
Well, I don't know what they're gonna do now because, well, again, don't want to go to the end, but.
Oh, okay. No, this actually no. She actually no. Mel MC got it. They're gonna tape Howard paying off the judge. Oh no.
Oh, is that what they're doing?
That's what they're okay. Okay, then wow, way smarter than us.
Yeah, I didn't even like. Apologies because I burned through the episode pretty fast, but.
Yeah, so I was wondering, like, what was their interest with this judge? Because when Viola talked about this judge, I was like, I'm like, where's this going? I'm like, where's this going? So
yeah, well, obviously, Jimmy puts on the the Howard suit.
Yeah, of course.
And there you go, right? Yeah. So
just like just like in 604,
Yeah. Well, that makes a lot of sense. So obviously, so thank you again, chat, for cluing us in. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, right?
Yeah. So now, and this is when you came in. I was in the veterinarian's office.
Okay. Well, sorry, thank you for getting me caught up. Sorry, I'm late.
No, it's fine. Don't worry. It's fine.
Thanks for putting me on the spot there a minute. I think I might have to go clean my pants here in a few minutes, but we're okay.
So we find out that the veterinarian kind of wants to step down. He's not interested in being the contact for, people who want to delve into the Albuquerque underworld, getting involved with criminals, doing things that are on a different side of the law, let's say. So we see the notebook. Did you spot the notebook from 601?
Yep.
So that's all the context. We see all the context, and it's written in some weird characters. I don't know what those were.
Well,
like,
I like the
we
comment,
found the Zodiac killer.
Yeah. I was like,
and I told people, I told the chat to watch my Dirty Harry review because Dirty Harry, Scorpio is based on the Zodiac killer.
Yeah, it's just a nice little reference, but
oh yeah,
I'm assuming Saul's going to end up with that book. I don't think there's any. He's probably going to pay him for it or something.
I think he just gave it to him. He's like, "You want it? Here, take it. I'm done."
Well, but he took it back.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he took it back because he gave it to him. Said, "Yeah, go ahead, and take a look at it," and then he opened it up and saw it was all coded. So there was, he has no.
Did you see the business card in that?
Of course.
Vacuum.
The vacuum cleaner card. Yes.
By the way, R.I.P. Robert Forster.
Yes.
So that's that answers a question. It answers how he gets this contact in the first place. So that was a pretty cool. That was a pretty cool thing. So, LLMC says the vet said it was for sale. Okay, that makes sense. And of course, so the vet kind of fixes Jimmy's face. He looks in the mirror. He's like, "Wow, I look good." So, like that was I thought that was a pretty cool little thing to learn. What's funny was people predicted that was going to happen. So the fact that it happened, I'm very impressed. I did not see that. I did not see that happening. I did not see that coming. So that was a pretty interesting
thing. Part? Hold on. What didn't you see? I might have missed what you said. What didn't you see coming?
I think I was listening to Vivid Kiwi's video, and he said that it's likely because he was basically breaking down the preview for today's episode from last week, and we see the book. We see the book in there, and he said that it was possible that Jimmy would get the book from the veterinarian.
Oh, okay.
And that's how he would get all the contacts that would make him a criminal, quote unquote lawyer.
Yeah, an extra friendly cartel member.
Friend of the cartel.
Friend of the cartel.
Yeah. So
it only makes sense. I mean,
So that was
cleaning up pieces.
Yeah. So that was a very interesting little thing that we see, and so that's the end of scene 2. So it goes commercial.
Now this is something I missed again, so please just bear with me. Were they shooting him up with caffeine?
Yeah, I did not.
Because his eyes were so freaking dilated at the end.
Yeah, that's probably what it was.
Because I'm assuming the play is Howard's gonna accuse him of doing drugs at some point, and then obviously he's gonna look at his eyes and freaking, Saul's going to be jacked. I'm assuming that's why they're still up in the middle of the night, maybe, in front of the building at the end of the episode. But is that more bait? I would assume to try and bait Howard into thinking he's, going crazy and accusing Jimmy of doing things he's not doing. Maybe is that what that was about?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I have to rewatch the episode.
Okay.
It looks like it. At first second, I thought they were going to drug Howard with stimulants to make it seem like he's high on cocaine or something. That was my initial takeaway. Then I'm just like, I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah,
looked like a thermometer. There was like a probe. It looked like a thermometer because I know I've used thermometers that you put under your armpit to. At least I thought that was a thermometer. I think
it was a thermometer, but I think I thought I thought they jacked him up on caffeine because it'd get you a little bit jerky. Like I would assume like you're on coke, I guess. And I guess that was the play, is to try and get Howard to start accusing him of stuff, and go from there.
We'll have to see. I did not write that down. It
just wasn't sure.
Wasn't quite sure what was going on. So
okay,
it'll be something. It'll definitely be followed up next week. So let's keep going. So we're scene 3 now. We're in court. So we're covering Kim's pro bono case. They're in the room with the judge, and the judge is getting kind of how would I say, impatient with Kim. Kim is trying to Kim is willing to basically go all out on the cop that was basically trying to get a kid I don't know if it was a ticket, but there was some sort of I don't know if the kid was arrested because he had a dangling Albuquerque air freshener connected to the rear view or dangling from the rear view mirror. Which I'll be honest, I have one. I have the tree, the Christmas tree looking
at one point our cars have all stunk. We've all had a cheeseburger hanging out in the back seat too long, and well, maybe not all of us, but that's what air fresheners hanging in our windows have, right?
Oh yeah, and I had no idea that was ever illegal. I mean, it does dangle sometimes. It does get annoying.
Well, I guess it's supposed to obstruct your view or something, but why? Like, that's another one of those things that I don't understand. Why would you allow the sale of them if they're illegal? And
exactly,
why would anybody get pulled over for that in a million years? I think that's the point, obviously.
Yeah, and it was like some old statute, or it was some old statute,
probably some ancient thing, just to be able to pull the guy over.
And Kim basically tells the judge, "Hey, my client has been harassed by this cop before. This was the second time. I think this was the second or third time." And the ticket, the citation is ridiculous because I don't know if it was a citation. I don't know what it was. I don't know the extent, but it was something serious. And she points out that half the cars in the lot, including the judges, had these dangling air fresheners. And this is the same Albuquerque air freshener that we see in episode 501 or episode 401 in the Gene Takovich's storyline when he's in the cab with that guy. I forget the guy's name, but the cabbie that comes back in 501 and says, "Hey, you're him, right? Say your name. Say it. Say your name." And he's like, "Yeah, this is all good. Better Call Saul."
I didn't know. I didn't realize it was.
Yeah, it was the same.
You're more perceptive than me when it comes to that stuff. So,
well, the reason why I know is because I watch Vivid Kiwi's video. That's how I know. But that's that was a fun little thing. They had to show it really close up to the camera. Jeff the cabbie, that's who it is.
Well, I think it's just, I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, I think we all know that's ridiculous to have somebody in there because they have an air freshener is beyond. So I think, point well played, Kim. Because
she's like, there must have been pretext to this. And then of course we see Cliff. Cliff Main is watching the trial. Mm-hmm. And he's like, he's like, very good argument. How long did it take? Did it take 30 hours? She's like, no, more like 50. And then we find out that even she is getting paid like $700 per case.
Right.
Which is like, oh, so they're paying you minimum wage. So I thought like she got like no money. Like I thought this was all voluntary, but apparently she's getting paid.
I assumed it was sort of she's doing what Jimmy was doing when the show first started, was taking cases from the public defender's office and
they only remember he defended those three students who basically cut off a head and they start having sex with the corpse's head. And he's like, hey, he's like, I did three, I covered three, I have 3 clients, give me 2,100. He's like, no, you have 1 case.
Should have tried them separately.
700. I was like, wow.
Oh boy. Yeah, that's like, where do they come up with some of these cases for the show too? That just hey, let's have a case where these teenagers just do something completely crazy.
I don't know.
Why not?
I don't know.
Why not? If you're gonna do it,
they probably read the newspaper. They probably read.
You know what? It's probably a true story somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
You're probably right.
they probably know lawyers. That's probably not why they know all these things. Who knows?
Yeah, based on fact. Yeah, right.
So Tom says, I looked up the Isotopes and they are a real team founded in 2003. No way. So, or are they like a minor league? Were they like a baseball team or something? Or
the Isotopes are the freaking Simpson baseball team, aren't they?
I don't know. I don't remember.
The Springfield Isotopes?
Is that
no?
I don't remember. To be
honest, a while since I watched Simpsons.
The baseball episode that I remember is the company baseball episode with Mr. Burns, hiring all the hiring the team.
It's the Isotopes, isn't it? It's gotta be.
Not this. Okay, yeah, I guess you're right. Daryl.
Right.
I love that. Who are the best prime minister? Pitt the Elder. No, it's Lord Palmerston. Barney and what was his name? What's that one baseball player's name? The one that does the 100 kegs. I forget his name. I can't.
I don't remember though. It was the
same guy.
It's been so long since I should just restart watching The Simpsons from 1.
And the baseball one is the baseball episode is top 10.
You can't. There's so many good ones
by far.
It's one of those. There's so many good episodes up until I don't know, a few years. Well, not even a few years ago, 10 years ago, and then it's just I stopped watching. But I thought that's the name of the baseball team in Springfield.
That plays into my Kim theory even more. Okay. Can you imagine getting a public defender and lucking up and getting one as good as Kim? That's awesome. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's
God! Talk about winning the public defender lottery. Good Lord.
Then we have Mike here. He says Howard's wife was getting her cheeks clapped by her friend that night. Interesting. I had no idea. The Black Book in the Office was the season 6 intro. Yep, that's exactly right. Yep, you got that. There was an episode where they had a plan to move the Isotopes to Albuquerque. Interesting.
Yeah.
Very hungry Howard.
Yeah. It's the Simpson lore. There you go.
That's okay. So Cliff basically, I think Cliff brings up a foundation, the Jackson Mercer Foundation. Reason why I remembered Mercer is because Mercer's the captain, Seth MacFarlane's captain in the Orville. That's why I remembered the name. Yeah. So I'm guessing the Jackson Mercer Foundation is like the thing that she wants to set up. I don't know how. I wasn't sure if she was genuine or stuff, but apparently they're meeting with the Lieutenant Governor of New Mexico.
Well, that's the foundation that they talked about at lunch that she was surprised that he bit, right? For the basically doing what she's doing, but getting, paid and more reach, it sounds like.
Getting a team together to do what she's doing.
Yeah, so I think it was one of those, it's just a continuation of that. He's actually serious about it. Something so
it kind of makes me think, do you think that's what ultimately happens to her? She is able to move on? Or
I was hoping so, but now that she, what happens at the end of the episode happens. That's true. I think Kim's put herself in directly in harm's way here for something bad to happen.
We'll see. So we're back at Saul's office, and looks like the Kim basically arrives. I think it's evening, and the place is furnished. At least the waiting room is furnished. And of
Looks
course,
totally different than it's
this is still not the Saul Goodman office from
no.
Breaking Bad, but it's in its initial stages. So the first thing I was asking is like, are we going to see the Constitution on the wall? Are we going to see the Constitution on the wall?
Yeah,
I can't say yet because we're not in there. So
well, it's gonna be. I don't know how they're gonna, because it's so different. It's like massively different. I mean, just this, even the setup. Because if I'm isn't like, is she? I'm trying to think. I'll have to watch Breaking Bad again just to see, like, at least one of the. Is she off to the right like that in Breaking Bad too? Or I thought her desk was in front of the doors in Breaking Bad.
no, her desk is like behind a wall.
Yeah, so
Her desk is behind a wall. Like she's got like the sliding. She opens the
yeah,
thing,
so
kind
it's
of like
just
the
like,
woman at the city clerk or at
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
city
yeah. So
courthouse.
I'm wondering if just she has enough encounters like what happens a little later that she decides to remodel everything because there's some crazy people.
I think something bad happens. Maybe it might have something to do with a certain guy named Lalo that makes her want to stay behind a wall, locked door and behind a wall. Because I mean, as we see later, like it gets kind of out of hand with all the criminals. Just like one has a broken arm and one's taking cigarettes and putting them out on the furniture itself.
Yeah.
And because of course they're criminals. A lot of them are not right in the head, so they're doing things. And of course, one guy pees. One guy pees in Saul's office,
Which
and
is poetic since it's
he
like,
tells Francesca to clean it up, and she's like, "No, you
yeah, well,
clean
you
it
can
up."
see that you can see Breaking Bad Francesca come out there a little bit. It's like, no,
Yeah,
I'm
well,
not.
she does not
No,
respect Jimmy, but she was so happy to see Kim in
yes,
this scene. She was like,
yes.
"How are you?"
Well,
She
and that
respects her.
well, and that
Everybody
makes a lot
respects
of sense.
Kim.
Yeah, well, yeah, a lot. You can tell just from having genuine conversation, being genuinely happy for her about the marriage, and are you registered and all that stuff.
Yeah,
And then I think yeah, she's trying to make it look like a nice, respectable law office, and I think she did a pretty good job, honestly, with
yeah,
just with
I
everything she
agree.
chose. But I would assume you're probably right. Something bad happens, or continually they trash the place,
Yeah,
and she
that's why the
is
place
gonna
looks
go
like
fuck it.
crap when we get to Breaking Bad.
You don't care. These people are coming in here regardless of what this place looks like. Screw
Yeah,
it. I'm gonna put myself in a safety box and do whatever while you do whatever, right?
yeah.
Uh, so I think you're probably dead on that.
So Mel says Jackson Mercer is a social justice consortium. Kim's dream is to set one up in the southwest. Southwest says southeast, but I'm assuming she meant southwest. That'd be a very interesting thing. I have to look up. I have to look up what exactly social justice consortium is. I'm guessing it's to help the underprivileged with cases that they can't afford, and basically similar to what she's doing, but with more people perhaps. We'll have to see about that. So that's a very interesting idea. That's a very interesting thing. Thanks for bringing that up. That kind of clarifies things. Mike says, why was Mike so close to his granddaughter if he was trying to stay low key? At that point, Kaylee is a liability to be harmed. Well, he thought that Lalo could possibly go after uh, Kaylee and of course Stacy, and that's why they had a house. They had a safe house right across the street from them,
Yeah.
and they think they think he's in Chattanooga on business, but he was actually just across the street looking out the window with his binoculars, and she's playing with the telescope that he got
Yeah,
her.
they have no idea where he is. I mean, they think
No,
he's off. So,
yeah, they think he's at work. They think he's been working, he's been
and
out of town for a
I
while.
think we're at this point supposed to assume that Mike is not going to get tailed. He's too perceptive for that. So, especially on something as important as his family. So,
Yeah,
it's just a check-in visit. Sometimes, I
I
would
mean,
assume, especially in a high-stakes game like this, you want to put eyes on your most important, you know, I mean, that's the most important people. That look, his family is the reason he does everything in this show. Every show, both shows, his whole life is that front yard right there. So it would only make sense that he's going to want to put eyes on and just make sure that and confirm that they're good, and then go about his business. You know, he can do anything as long as they're fine.
It's basically what he says in Bagman, where he's like Jimmy is like on the ground, he's freaking crying. He's like, "How do you keep going?" He's like, "I keep going because of my family." He's like, "I keep going because even if I die, I will die knowing that I did all that I could to support them." Kind of like it kind of parallels with Walt in Breaking Bad, because that's what Walt kept saying that
That's
he
how
was doing.
Walt's.
That was his intention with his family. And of course, the big
Yeah.
twist at the end of Breaking Bad, if you haven't seen it, I'm assuming you all have seen it, is he basically fesses up and says, "I did it for myself. I did it. I was good at it. I felt alive." And so
No,
that's what I
it
think.
gets twisted for Walt, where I don't really think it did for Mike. I think it was always about to a point. I think Mike
Yeah.
just got in way too deep and just decided, well, I'm gonna ride this horse until it bucks me, and
So he kind of always knew, and I guess kind of like equivalent to Tony Soprano. He kind of knew he wasn't going to probably end in a natural way.
Mhm.
Uh, the only thing was the only thing that just makes it so hard after seeing Breaking Bad is like the family. His future. You know what ultimately happens to Mike. Like you feel for Kaylee, especially Kaylee, that there's no closure for her because Mike has no idea about you know Ed the disappearer, the vacuum,
Yeah,
the vacuum. I mean, he had this was something that even Jimmy did not share with Mike.
yeah,
That's why Mike wasn't able to disappear.
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I gotta watch it again because I didn't feel like Mike. I don't know that Mike would do that. I think Mike would be more likely to just take out Walt.
Yeah, if I
I
had, I
just
mean, if he was gonna die, I get it because he's a killer himself. He's not a good. He has a code, and he's someone that the audience can respect, but he's still not a good person.
no,
He's killed. He's had his hand in a lot of
not
missing
yeah.
people. A lot of missing,
Well, dirty cop on top of that is it's one of
yeah.
those things. It's very
And he
weird,
broke his boy.
very weird relation. We all like Mike. We love Mike, but
Yeah,
he's a bad guy. I mean,
yeah,
he's a bad guy. I
yeah.
mean, dirty cop got his son killed basically, and has been trying to make up with it with his family ever since.
Kim becomes an SJW. I can tolerate a lot, but that's really it. No, she's not going to become an SJW. SJW is just SJWs are people that just complain on Twitter, complain online. That's all they are. Kim is actually doing stuff. She's actually helping people. Well, she does it for herself because she really enjoys helping people. It gives her purpose. It gives her pleasure. But yeah, yeah, that definitely not. Can we also give credit to Cliff Main? As successful as he still cares about the little guy. That's true. And
Well,
despite
I mean, a lot of the little. I mean, it's his relationship with his son. It seems like. I mean, his son has a lot of
his
problems.
son has a drug problem, and he kind of sees Howard as his son because of especially the way he confronts him in the last episode 605 in the
Yeah,
parking lot at Sandpiper. He's like, that's exactly what something my son would say when Howard's like, Cliff, it wasn't me. I didn't do anything. Honest. And of course, Cliff, I think what's going on, Cliff, when Howard says it's a Jimmy McGill problem and I'm going to handle this, Cliff thinks he's in denial. I think Cliff still thinks he's in denial. That's what I
yeah.
think.
I think absolutely. So yeah, absolutely. Just give me one quick second.
And he actually does ask. Cliff actually asked Kim, how did you part with Howard? Or what was how did you part with Howard? And I believe she says that everything she owes to Howard. She's and of course that's and after that Cliff tells her about the foundation, about the foundation. That's how the scene ends. At least that's all that I wrote down. So yeah, that was a great little thing right there. So now we're back in Saul's office, and like I said, Kim arrives. the thing is for going back. Where the place is furnished. The waiting room. Francesca's there. She's happy. She congratulates them on their marriage. And of course, we have the camera crew, and we have an actor. I know we talked about this earlier. There's an actor who doesn't have a mustache, but has the same, physical attributes as that judge, that one judge with the handlebar mustache. I forget his name.
I don't remember his name.
It was. I don't know if it was Raul something. It was something like that. So we know that they're planning a shoot. They're planning a shoot. All the same people that one, the one neurotic guy with the glasses. I forget his name. He's the one with the camera.
The Saul Goodman film.
He's like, I want to get paid. And then of course there was the sound guy, the nice guy at the ponytail, the sound guy. He's always the one holding the
boom mic.
The mic. And of course, he had the makeup girl. I forget her. I forget all their.
I don't remember their names.
She's very sweet, and she actually accidentally tells the truth at points. But she does the makeup, and they're looking at all the different mustaches, all the different textures, all the different shapes. And they're trying to figure out which one is. They're figuring out which one is the one that they should choose. Which one's the best one to make him look like that judge. And
I wonder if they took several takes with different clean shaven, not clean shaven, just to cover all bases, since they obviously didn't have eyes on him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's probably what it was. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. So we find out that Kim is supposed to meet with the foundation the same day as, quote unquote D-Day. So D-Day is the day that their plan is sprung forth into action. Everything is building up to D-Day. I'm assuming we're going to see D-Day next week. I figure everyone
on many levels. I think
perhaps. So we're gonna find out what D-Day is, and that's basically how the scene ends. So they're plotting something. This is I came into this knowing that there was going to be another build-up. So, here's an interesting one. Has Mike noticed that Kaylee doesn't age? Yeah, Kaylee is supposed to be like. Kaylee's supposed to be 4 years younger than she looks in 4 to 5 years, maybe 6 years younger than in Breaking Bad. And we see her in Breaking Bad. She's like 10 or 11. So she should be like 4 or 5, but they make her like this, like 8 or 9. So that's the one issue. That's probably the one continuity issue that they have in Better Call Saul, which is, I can forgive it. I can forgive that because
she has some weird disease that keeps her the same age. There you go.
Yeah, or maybe she's like Benjamin Button, she de-ages. No, that's not. No, she actually looks younger than her Breaking Bad counterpart. So, yeah, that was that. Yeah, that's the. I mean, no series is perfect.
It's a different Kaylee.
Compared to what a lot of other shows are doing, like all your Marvel shows, your Star Wars shows. Heck, even the new Star Trek shows on Paramount Plus, there's total disregard for continuity, especially the stuff that came out before. So that's but shows like this are well worth it and are worth talking about. That's why I'm here talking about Better Call Saul, because this really fits with Breaking Bad. They're really doing their work. The writers care about what they're doing, and that if the writers care about what they're doing, then I care about what they're doing, and I respect that.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first show I've tuned into besides for the show that shall not be named.
Yeah, and poor Kaylee gets her money taken every. Yeah, I know. It's hard to think about it. Mike should have taken Walt out. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. There's a funny meme on the BCS subreddit. It's Mike's yelling, "You're done," at Kaylee, and the caption is BCS at the end of every season to Kaylee. To Kaylee's, oh, that's terrible, because Kaylee's actress is always adorable. You're done. Yeah, because he says it to her when she brings up his son, when she brings up her dad, his son, and that he just freaks out. You're done. Do you think during the Gene scenes we'll get closure on Skylar, the kids, and Marie? I don't know. I'm assuming no. I'm not sure. I don't think so. I mean, it would, if they did, it would be a nice little bonus, but it might be too distracting. But I don't think if they do, I'll be surprised. But I don't think they will. But Mike was very adamant about not hurting people, not in the game. He at least had that much of a conscience. Yeah. And then, of course, because he got, pulled in, deeper and deeper, more layers into Gus's little game, he ended up becoming less and less concerned about that. I don't want to find out if Flynn gets the money. It's better left to speculation. I agree. I based on the way this show ended, I was very happy with what I saw. I think he does get the money. I think they do it. I think Walt convinced them that they were going to be, offed if they didn't do that because of Walt's, because they, the laser pointers from Skinny Pete and Badger, and of course, Walt's reputation. He's like public enemy number 1 or something. Everybody's looking for him, so they knew they wouldn't f with him, and I'm sure they would have given him the money. So given the son and the daughter the money. So that's what I was hoping. And that was the one thing that I was wondering about Jesse, because Jesse just drives off in the El Camino and he had no money. He's like, what happens to him? Does he get away? He just drives off laughing hysterically. And well, 6 years later, El Camino comes out and they answer that. And I was happy. He got away. He was able to, he kind of did his time, which was worse than, probably way worse than jail time if you think about it, because he was with those guys for like 6 months. I forget that guy's, Todd's family or whatever he called. Yeah. He was in a cage, or he was in a pit and stuff, and he was treated horribly. And they murdered his girlfriend. It's crazy. So, and Danielle Halbig is subscribed. Well, thank you. I got plenty of videos if you ever want to watch stuff. And of course I do these streams for Better Call Saul every week. Next week is going to be the last week for a while because it's a mid-season finale. So I want to know more about the plea deal with Skyler. I don't know if we're going to get to that. I don't think they're going to do that, but if they do, it'd be interesting. Because as far as I'm concerned, I think this is going to be the final episode of Better Call Saul is going to be the final episode of the Gilligan Breaking Bad universe. So that's what I think. I could be wrong.
I think the Skyler. I don't know that we'll ever. I don't think there's a point.
Yeah, I don't think it is either. I mean, it'd be interesting if they did, but I don't know if they're going to have the time.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, be covering so much other stuff. Maybe curiosity, if you could, but where they're at now, I don't see a reason to go back and touch on that.
Yeah, exactly. So let's keep going. So I was talking a bunch of everybody in the chat. There's lots of everybody saying stuff because it's great. Oh, look who's here! Floral from Under a Rock. Going to bed, but I gotta drop a life for you. Thank you. You're awesome. Floral from Under a Rock. Yeah, puppet. Yeah, he's a great puppeteer. Makes me every time I watch him, I think I'm watching Sesame Street for adults. So, all right. So here's a big juicy part of this episode. We're in Germany now. And I'll be honest. I thought we were going to be seeing, what's his name again? We're going to be seeing Kai, because Kai was the one that seemed to be the weak one. Kai was the one that was like, hey, Warner was weak, and of course Mike punches him. Him, knocks him down.
I think Kai's the weasel, so he'd probably be the hardest one to find.
Probably. So instead, it's the I think this was the guy. This was the I think the guy that we see is actually the one that spits at Mike. He's like, Warner was a much better man than you'll ever be.
Yeah, that's
and of course Mike agreed with him and didn't hit him or do anything. He just, that's kind of what sets him on his little, sets him in his crossroads was him knowing that it was true and realizing that. So at least I think that was him. If that was, I'm
pretty sure it was him. Yeah, okay. I'm pretty sure it was that one.
And I just love it. He's chopping wood with an axe, and you're like, okay, the axe is going to be used for something. The axe is going to be used for something grisly. I just know it.
Oh yeah.
And then car approaches, and we hear something. We hear twigs. We hear twigs snapping on the ground. We hear footsteps approaching, and the tension is there. The tension's real. And then we hear Lalo. Lalo calls out Guten Tag. Hey. And of course, the guy's like, the guy starts to grip his axe. He knows something's up. There's something wrong, because of course they're all scared for their lives because of how based on what Mike told them. Like if they Mike told them, hey, if you guys say anything, the consequences. So they thought, uh-oh. So the first thing he thought was, somebody's coming for us from that job, which was actually true, but not the way they thought.
Yeah.
So there's of course Lalo pulls out a gun and the guy flees. The guy flees into the what do you call that? Like a lumber barn or something.
I mean,
there was logs and there was a lumber
it
barn.
It looked like almost like a stable, almost, right? I mean,
Yeah.
a little bit, maybe. I don't know. Storage of some sort. It looked like, right? I mean, I'm not 100% sure, but.
And of course,
I mean, he's obviously living off the grid. This guy's not.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So a chase ensues. What was his name? Casper. Okay, his name was Casper the Spitter. Yes, the Spitter. Okay, I was right.
Casper the Spitter.
because he spits.
No, I know. It's just.
Other than I didn't know any of the names. Just the only name that I knew was Kai, because Kai was the only one that stood out. He was the one that was causing all the trouble, especially when they took him out for drinks into the strip club, especially for because they need it, because they're
I just love that
you hold
nickname.
up a bunch of young dudes, they're gonna freaking freak out and do stuff.
Yeah,
and it wasn't the young dudes that freaked out; it was Warner that freaked out and freaking escaped.
Yeah.
Just so he could see his wife.
Well, I just Casper the Spitter. I just
Casper the Spitter. Casper.
That's a solid
Casper
nickname.
the Friendly Spitter.
Yeah, Casper.
Well, not friendly to Mike, but
hey, you're Casper the Spitter.
So like Casper was the one that made that acrylic little piece for Warner. So that's how Lalo tracks him down.
Right.
So Lalo is searching for Casper inside the dark lumber house. And the first thing I thought was, I kind of thought a little bit about the French. I don't know if you've ever seen the French Connection, but there's like a similar search, like he's searching in an abandoned house or for the French, for the drug dealer. Of course, he doesn't catch him.
Quite a few. I mean, there's a lot of the tension building moments.
Yeah, it was a big tension building, and we're doing this from Lalo's point of view. Of course, Casper gets the drop on Lalo,
which I was like, whoa.
Yeah, it was like he got. I think what he get like hit in the neck. He got hit in the neck, and so Lalo was wheezing the whole time.
I thought it was the neck or the stomach, the ribs.
I don't know.
Ribs. It was ribs because Lalo.
Oh yeah, he broke a rib. Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
So, so Lalo. I don't know if Lalo was probably feigning more than he actually was, and
he gets up. He's just like
he takes the card and he slashes the dude. Like it was like a blade. Takes like the business card and the business card and he takes the axe and he hits him.
Well, he's got the razor blade. He's got the razor blade hidden behind the business card. I don't know.
Oh, that was a razor blade?
Yeah, he's got the business card and he's showing it to him. He's got a razor blade hidden behind it.
I did not know that.
So he swipes it and hits him with the razor blade, cuts his face open, cuts his forehead open, and then grabs the axe. Off goes the leg. It's like, fuck. So sorry, excuse my language, but savage.
He's like, you better tie that up. You better tie that up, or you're gonna bleed.
Well,
he's like, we're gonna have a talk.
The funniest part of the whole thing for me is he just stands up. He's like, and he just starts laughing. He just goes right into Lalo. Just starts laughing. you broke my ribs, man.
Yeah, he's like, yeah.
It's like, oh, here's my belt. You better tie that off before you die. It's like,
yeah. He's like, we're gonna have a talk. And that's how. So we're gonna have a talk. So that's how the scene ends, and we don't see anything else. So I'm assuming we don't. I'm curious if they leave it ambiguous whether or not Lalo. I'm assuming Lalo kills him. I'm assuming Lalo kills Casper.
I would assume probably. I mean, I don't think there's any reason for him to leave him alive. It's just a loose end for Lalo. I would assume Lalo's gonna torture him and get what he can out of him and get next target.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if he may give it. I mean, the guy may give up everything. He might not even have to find Kai. I think that would be disappointing. I want to see that scene with Lalo, hunting down Kai. That could be a fun scene to watch. But we got to get Lalo back to the States, man.
Yeah, I'm curious if he's going to make it next week. I'm assuming he will be.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but that might be mission accomplished. I don't know. I don't if that guy Casper doesn't have any real incentive to not spill. I don't see any reason why at that point he wouldn't. I mean, he's off the grid. He's obviously not doing anything he shouldn't be doing. If this guy found him, and then on top of it, it's his only chance probably at living is to just spill what's going on. So, and his boss who he loved is dead. He has no, the loyalty to the people he worked for. He's done all that. So I don't know. I don't know if we're going to see Kai or not. We'll see.
I don't know either. So let's see. So Giancarlo Esposito hinted very strongly in a recent interview that he had approached about doing one more installation in the Breaking Bad universe. Oh, interesting. I had no idea. By the way, Giancarlo Esposito was reason why Gus was not in this episode was because Giancarlo was behind the camera the whole time. He was the director. So
that's right. Yeah.
I was wondering if cursing
Get out in front there, man.
I was wondering if cursing was allowed. I mean, you can curse. I mean, I don't know.
She's talking about me, I think, because I got the worst. Because I've dropped a few F-bombs and a few other things. So
how dare you? My ears are bleeding now.
How dare you? I know. I am a terrible influence. What can I say? Hey, we're 5 minutes in, right? I can start. Come on. So
all right. So
sorry if I will hold back the cursing. I know I'm terrible.
Don't worry about it. I don't care. So scene 4, we're back in Saul's office, and of course, like I brought this up earlier. Well, the riffraff. There's like nothing but riffraff. Criminals waiting for Saul to talk to him. And like there's like a guy with a broken arm. There's of course there's one other person that's putting cigarettes out on the arm of the sofa.
Mm-hmm.
So much for Francesca's furnishings.
I did see something in the chat just real quick to just before we move on that I agreed that when Kim came, you could tell Kim hated it. Didn't really like it. She was just being nice. She's like,
didn't like
hey.
What the office?
The day what she's done with the place. She didn't really like it very much. At least that was my take too. I forgot who said it in the chat, but somebody said, yeah, Kim didn't seem to like it. She seemed to be just being nice to keep her be on friendly terms with Francesca. That was my take too. I didn't think she really liked it either, but she did put on a brave face and did make it seem like she liked it quite a bit. Not important, obviously, but
so let's go. Okay, so let's go back. So so Francesca goes into the back, and we see Saul Goodman's office. We see the back wall. There's no Constitution, not yet. I was like, is the Constitution there? Nope, not yet. But we're close. So
no fake pillars. Nothing.
So she goes in, and of course she's like, we got to talk, and then they go outside in the back in the alley. And of course, she's clearly not comfortable. She's like, I don't know if I want to keep doing this. And he's giving her crips. Like, I'm paying you a lot of money. I mean, you're getting paid like well over the market value. He's like, I forget how he says it. You're getting paid well over the market value. Just I'm giving you stuff to do. I'm expecting a lot, except for the P. the P doesn't count apparently. But Francesca calls HHM in an attempt for them to find out how to call into she pretends like she's the daughter of one of the Sandpiper residents, and they find out what the number is to call into the meeting. The code. I actually wrote the code down. It's 842-159. So if you call 842-159, you'll be able to get connected to HHM's meeting. So
wait, can you? You need the phone number first. That's that would be the passcode.
Yeah, that was a passcode.
Do we have an HHM number?
No.
That'd be so cool, man.
We don't.
That'd be so.
But hey,
cool.
If we did,
like, come on, the internet.
Vivid Kiwi tried to call the Vivid Kiwi. I was just watching. He tried to call like the numbers that were in the season, like the number on the bank statement in Nacho's vault or his safe. That was one, and I forget what the other one was. There was another phone number that he called. They tried to call. Of course, he didn't get anything. Of course, he didn't get anything. It was,
it's so cool when they can work those things in. It's so great. Stuff like that. That's wall break. I love that stuff. It'd be so cool. It'd be so cool if there was an HHM number like listed somewhere, and then like he called it, and there was some fake Sandpiper meeting going on. It'd be like, dude, this is awesome. Or you can like call in during the show. I don't know, man. I think that's some things that TV needs to think about. Stuff like that, interactive elements like that. I mean, it's
that's what I like about this show.
yeah, stuff that gets you involved and makes you like,
They don't just tell you stuff.
Well, it's just like hell. I mean, missed opportunity too. Nacho's number, could have been, anything. It's just a message or something. I don't know. I think we need more of that. It just gets you excited and gets you thinking, gets the brain working. Oh, hey, I wonder if that's it, or just like I think it was the Batman had a bunch of stuff at the end of it at the end of that, and people broke the code and went all over the internet and got some extra scenes and stuff like that. And it was just like, that stuff's, I mean, this stuff's cool. I mean, it makes, I don't know, it's just cool little fun stuff that I think if you took a little time, wouldn't take a lot of effort to put together. It's nice, something fun, extra that people will remember, in my opinion.
I can see that. All right, so here, so yeah, of course, I meant this before. They call in, they get the information. Guy pisses in Saul's office. I think he pisses on his clock. I don't know if that was a grandfather clock or I don't know what that was. That he was pissing on.
I thought it was a water feature.
Or a water feature. I don't know.
I thought it was just a water fountain. That's why I laughed, because I'm like, wait a second. I just saw the toilet in the trash can. It's not the toilet.
Yeah.
It's just a waterfall feature.
Yeah. It's
He goes to turn around.
He's like, no. It literally says clean up aisle 9. She's like, you clean it. She's like, you clean up. I'm not doing that. I didn't sign up for this. I can't blame her.
So funny.
Her job is not to do that. So, but yeah, that's we're back at Saul. So here's an interesting thing Mel brings up. The problem is Casper doesn't know much, only that he was an ABQ. Remember how careful they were that the workers knew nothing of what they were building. Yeah. They didn't know where they were. They didn't know. Heck, I don't even think they knew they were in Albuquerque. They didn't know where they were. Honestly, I don't
even know if they knew they were there. I guess when it comes down to it,
they flew in from different spots. Like they drove like miles and miles and miles.
Well, they'd have to know they're starting from somewhere, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so even if they're driving to different locations, they have to have there's an assumption to be made that they all left from one location, so that's where they were working, I guess.
Well, there was that one guy, that first guy that they interviewed. They flew in. I think he flew into Colorado, so which is directly north of New Mexico. So they drove all the way from
I'm talking more about where they drove from, but they could have drove them to anywhere. To said, okay, you're leaving from here, go these directions. So, I don't even know that if they knew they were there or not. But that's a good point. I guess he was. So Casper was. Who was the? Oh man. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Who was he? Was
Kai.
Kai, there you go. Kai was the backup foreman too, so I guess he would have.
Kai was a demolitions expert.
But didn't he leave him in charge when he left?
Yeah, I think so.
So he would have plans. So I guess it's a good point. I guess the road does need to lead back to Kai, because Kai would have. Do you think Kai got rid of all that stuff? I doubt it.
Poor Kai. I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see if that's the case. Oh. Because it'll be funny. It'll be funny to see Kai and Lalo. Kai just gonna have completely squirming.
Kai's gonna be in a club with a Corvette or some bull and just like living it up, blowing all his money, and Lalo's gonna come rock his world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So also numbers a hoot to call. They can't even change up the message so I'll have to find that number. I'll have to try calling one of these days. All right, so let's so we talked a little bit about Mike's this one scene with Mike in this episode. One thing I didn't talk about yet was there's tension. There's a lot of tension between him and Tyrus. So him and Tyrus is questioning his the way Mike's handling things. Like he's moving people around. I think he took less people off of Gus. And he put more people on, like his family, put people on, Kim and Jimmy, and
well, just spread all over the place. I mean,
and it's just like, hey, we're tight, we're spread thin, and
Yeah.
Like you're gonna have to. He's like, you're gonna have to
allocate our resources a little better there, buddy.
Yeah.
These are unneeded. You're basically your family's not at risk. Can we pull these people off?
Yeah.
And Mike says, "Screw you, buddy.
Like,
you want to go? Let's go."
Do we have a problem? He's like, yeah. Do you have a problem? Yeah, I just love that. He's like, I'm
you
here.
Want to go? I'm ready. Let's do
it. I'm right here. So I like how they showed last week's trailer. They showed Lalo, and then they showed Mike saying that. I'm like, I know that's not the case. I knew exactly that was not the case. That was just like another form of editing.
The magic of editing, right? Yeah,
exactly. I know. I do that. I do that with making my videos. So yeah. But it would have been, I thought, if that was the case, I would have been fine with it too. But I knew it wasn't the case. He's still in Germany. He's still looking for them.
Yeah, so, of course. We need a lot more. Lalo is we need some more Lalo. More Lalo. Yeah.
And so here we have, of course, once again, like I said, he really cares about his guys. He brings them all coffee whenever he shows up. Whenever he comes to supervise whatever they're doing. They're at the house, which is across the street from Stacy and Kaylee's house. So he's looking out the window. He calls them. He's talking to her, and she's telling him what she sees because she's looking at the telescope that he got her. He's like, oh, find the Big Dipper for me. And she's like, oh, I see this shining spot. I think it's Jupiter. And she's like, "Oh, Jupiter." He's like, "Jupiter is the largest planet in the solar system." He's like, "Really?" And she's like, "Yeah, it's much bigger than the Earth. It's a gas giant." And he's like, "Oh, you shouldn't say that." She says, "That's not what I meant, Pop." So it was a nice. It was a very. I thought it was just a nice, great, beautiful, tender moment for Mike, which
it humanizes him, right? It's why we care about him. You know that those moments are why we care about Mike.
I was curious if we were going to see, because we haven't seen her or Stacy at all, or Stacy and Kaylee at all this season.
Well, since he's got deep into this, he has completely distanced himself. At least, I mean, I know they had their ups and downs, but since things have been getting hot with Lalo and stuff going on, I want to say ever since the escape. He's pretty much. I feel like he's distanced himself from his family because he's not stupid. It's one of those. Hell, Lalo might not even know about him. I don't know. Does he even know about him at this point? Because he could probably figure
Mike.
it out.
He knows Mike. He met
his
Mike
family. I guess he does know his
family. But probably not.
I know he knows Mike, but I'm not sure about how much he knows his family. So it would make sense.
He doesn't know anything about his family yet.
Yeah, so it's one of those. It makes sense that when stuff starts getting crazy, Mike's a smart person.
Yeah,
I'm gonna just get I don't want anybody near them. I'm gonna just cut myself off till this gets sorted. Then I'll be back for my business trip, right? So
I'm thinking since they went to the bar, they probably knew what the town they were in. Oh, okay. Maybe I'm not sure, but if that's the case, then we'll see.
Maybe. Just because they went to a bar doesn't mean they know they're in. Even if that's all they know, it's still not much.
In case they ask somebody.
Your point still stands. It's even if they know they're in Albuquerque. So what? Just because they're in Albuquerque at the bar doesn't mean that's where they're working. They've been driven around in circles so many times they could be driving to Texas to work. They have no idea.
So Judo Joker says right here, I think the real issue with this episode wasn't that it was filler, but rather it was too short. The scene with Kaylee was nice, but then we got an ad break that went on and on and on. More Lalo, please. Yeah, I agree. I don't disagree with that. Don't disagree with that also. All right, so
it was pretty short. Left? Yeah, it was pretty short, but we really
only have one. We really only have one scene left, and this is we have only one scene left. So we start this off Kim and Jimmy's apartment at night. They're cleaning up. Saul's washing dishes. And of course, we see the plan board with all the sticky notes attached. And of course, they cross off the one that says T1 or T-1.
Yep.
And
I want to go back. I want to, because I was definitely in a hurry trying to catch up. I definitely want to go back and look at the board to see if I can figure out anything from everything that's been marked off from previous days. Because they obviously have their Post-its under each, their accomplishments they need to see if anything glaring is sitting there going, there's a. I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is. It had to be. They showed. They don't do anything for no reason. So I'm sure there's something there. I'm sure there's something there going, boom. That's or even if it's just an Easter egg, there's got to be something on that board. If not, then well. But I want to take a closer look, see what's on there. All those Post-its.
Yeah, we'll find out. I didn't get a really good look. All I just know is that the next step is D-Day, and then they show a mushroom cloud, an illustrated mushroom cloud.
Yeah.
Which is basically next week's episode. So stay tuned. Next week's episode is called Plan and Execution. So they're like, Jimmy's like, hey, you're not doing anything. Let's go out. And so they go out, and he's like, where are we going to go? We're going to go to Omaha Beach. Get it? Get it? D-Day? Get it?
Yeah.
So they have a little picnic with wine, and they're like, hey, take out the wine. Here's to tomorrow. Clink. And when we find out where they are, they're not outside their apartment. They're outside the boardroom of HHM.
Yep.
So we have that nice little scene where they're with them, and then of course it skips right away to the next day.
So, question: what do you think they're trying to do? Just because blowing up Sandpiper would be? Are they just trying to get them to settle?
They're trying to
make him look bad in the process.
The way they said it at the end of the last season, they're trying to ruin Howard to force them to prematurely settle.
Is that
ultimately what they want to do? That way, Kim gets the money. Kim gets the money she needs to help for her dream,
right? For
her pro bono dream. So that's what I think it is. Hence, she sees all that money in Saul Goodman or in his the $100,000 that he made from the bagman job, and she saw that, and that's when she just quits. She just quits. She just quits Schweikert and Coakley,
which is also interesting. Which I find even more interesting because I thought that's what it was. I trouble remembering some things these days, but which is interesting because she turns around from basically being able to accomplish that the right way with she's going to be able to accomplish what she wants to accomplish through the meeting with Cliff. That's what they're doing, right? So she wouldn't even need the money at that point. She's going to be able to do her public defender dream regardless of the money at this point, because that's what Cliff wants to do. So I find it sort of interesting. It's like it's obviously something deeper in Kim. The revenge on Howard is more important than the dream, it seems like, at this point.
Yeah, especially as this is right after Howard tells her that she is being manipulated by Jimmy at the end of last season. And this is pretty much where it stems from. After that, then when they're in bed and they're having fun, that's where she's like, hey, let's ruin Howard. And even Jimmy's kind of like, I don't know.
Well, I mean, Jimmy's like, let's call this off. We'll regroup and we'll figure it out.
So why do they want to call it off? Why do they want to regroup? Well, the reason is because Jimmy goes to the liquor store, wants to buy that, was it Zaffio? I forget what it's called. The Zaffio vodka with that sharp, that stopper that we see at last season. We see it in 601 when the movers are taking all the stuff and we see it on right by the curb, discarded. It's basically a symbol of Kim and Jimmy doing con jobs together, that thing. So he buys it $500 a bottle, and the judge is that judge that they were supposed to be impersonating is there, and he's got a sling on. He broke his arm, so they have a version of him that doesn't have a sling. He's like, he just walks, and the guy's like, and he calls her. He's like, we're gonna have to abort, and she's like, no. She's driving. She's on her way to the Albuquerque that foundation thing that I think Cliff set up, and then she just takes the car and just turns it around and goes back, and that's how the episode ends.
Yep. Blowing that opportunity right up.
Mm-hmm.
unless she comes up with some excuse, which is also always possible. But yeah, I just thought it was interesting that she just took 2 seconds to think about it. It's like, nope, no turning back. D-Day is D-Day.
Yeah, the end definitely got me excited for next season, but this didn't have that much of a feeling of second to last episode of half a season. Yeah, I know where you're coming from. You're like waiting for like a huge payoff to happen. And one thing about the show is like it's a very slow show. Like it doesn't have nearly the ratings that Breaking Bad does. It doesn't even have the type of story that Breaking Bad does. This is very more character driven, not exactly as plot driven. It's mainly to support Breaking Bad, and of course, to really show the. I keep saying I gotta stop doing that. To show how Jimmy becomes Saul and how Mike ends up losing his soul ultimately, and how when that with new character Kim, same idea. So
yeah.
And then, of course, another thing is Jimmy and Kim are going to murder Howard in a bunker in Germany.
Kai's bunker. You're going to borrow it from Kai.
Bunker. Yeah. Something Unforgivable. That was the name of last season's episode. And I think the ending of this episode definitely kills all the Kim leaves Jimmy and returns to the straight and narrow path theories. I always thought those were the least interesting Kim theories. Yeah, so it looks like something's going to happen, something big or something serious. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. The more and more I think about Kim dying, I don't know, because I think that would just break Jimmy, like break.
I mean, yeah, so no, she's not going to die. I don't think she's going to.
I don't think she can, because
but they do divorce.
I think that's probably all this Howard stuff's probably going to lead to that.
But there's a theory that she's going to betray Jimmy somehow.
I don't know. I don't see that happening, just because she's the one spurning on all this stuff right now. I mean, Jimmy was willing to call it off.
But here's the thing: Jimmy has the bad reputation, and she still has a good reputation, so she can throw him under the bus anytime.
So I think, I guess.
So if they get in trouble, she can throw him under the bus.
Yeah, but they
would believe her over him by far.
But that's the thing. I don't buy that either, because I think Jimmy would just take it for her.
Go for it, Judo Joker. Time for the Judo's Kim theory.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I want to hear this, but I think Kim would just have to say it, and he'd take the heat. I don't think there's any question. I think.
Yeah. So
I mean, he would just. He's like, okay, I got the bad rep. I'll take it.
I mean, we've seen Breaking Bad. We know how he is. He's just like he's just
anything, like short of getting disbarred. I think he'd take it on the chin for Kim.
Yeah. Of course, we know he does. We know he doesn't get disbarred. And he's pretty, at least from what we see, he's pretty chipper during.
Yeah, he'll take the blame for anything for her, as long as he can still practice law. I don't. So the betraying thing, I don't know that I buy that either, because I think all she'd have to do is be like, Jimmy, man, I can't go down for this, and be like, don't worry about it, I got it.
Mm-hmm.
I got it. I'll take the heat with Howard. Howard and me have always had this thing. It was always my idea, right? Anything short of disbarment, I think he would do it. So
I got a question for you.
Okay.
Now we know Kim's from Nebraska. Like we've known that since we first see her. I don't even remember when we first learned it, but do you think that he relocated to Nebraska as Jean to be near her, or do you think he just went there because that's where she's from? And that she's probably, that she's elsewhere. Or I doubt she's dead, but if she is, just entertain the idea.
I think Jean is probably. I want to. Well, it would make sense that if things go bad for them, that she would retreat home. So I think I like that thought, that he is there as Jean and she's still there as Kim. But that's putting him in a high risk situation. So I think it's probably more just sentimental than being close to her, because I don't know why she'd go back there at this point.
Tom says she may see Jimmy as a mark, or like a target or something.
You think at this point,
for criminals, for a target for criminals, or for the police? that he's being watched, because he's got the reputation of being a criminal lawyer.
Well, she's trying to play Jimmy. I don't know. I don't know.
Here's the first part of the theory. Are you ready?
Oh, here we go. I'm ready.
Okay, Judo Joker says, I think Kim is going to grow more and more controlling of Jimmy Saul. At first, Jimmy's going to go along with it, but he will eventually fear and resent Kim. Wow. Okay, Tom says, okay, so Tom basically clarifies she's working Jimmy.
No, I mean, I think, I don't know that she's working him. I think she's just in charge. I mean, I think that's, you know what I mean? I mean, I get your point.
You don't think she's manipulating Jimmy?
I mean, I get what you're saying. But and some of it could be manipulation, I guess, because he loves her. But I mean, it's more of for me, a boss subordinate relationship. Hey, this happened, abort. And she goes, nope. And it's like, okay, boss, what's the call? I don't know. Maybe she's working him. I guess I just don't see it for me. I mean, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Obviously, that's no brain. Gonna blow your brains out if I'm wrong. But it'd be. I'm not. I don't. I think she's sort of taken over. She's wearing the pants, and she's the idea person, and he's the executor in the relationship, and. She's the head and he's the body, and the head doesn't go down, the body goes down. So if anybody's going to go down, it's going to be Saul, and Kim's going to come out clean. I think they're both in that eyes wide open. I think they just know. I think they know their roles and their scheme at this point. Maybe I don't know. That's what I think.
So here's the second part. So Jimmy is looking over his shoulder out of fear of Kim. Not Lalo, not Gus, etc. I think Kim is the one who sent the cab driver. Maybe that matching air freshener in the window is a sign of that. That's a very interesting thing. I didn't think of that. That's a very.
So you think Kim's hunting him down?
Yeah, that might be what it is. That might be what it is. I thought he was in fear of the authorities.
I wouldn't like that. I'll be honest. I wouldn't like that because that just he's in fear of everything that happened in Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
That just eliminates everything that happened in Breaking Bad to make it Kim he's running from. I don't. If that's I get what you're saying, but I wouldn't like that. I mean, I've liked your other theories.
He says, I think you're right, Steve. But I think he's going to enable her to become more and more of a monster in time. I don't think Kim is going to let the metaphorical pants go at this point.
I think no. I think you may be right there. I think she is devolving more to her mother. Her mother's state of mind than Kim Wexler, the lawyer. Hell, the choice right there on the road. Go be legit. Turn around, do the con. She turns around, barely even thinks about it. Takes a few seconds and says, "Nope, no. We've worked this. We're in danger. We're the con is happening. I don't give a crap. I need my revenge sated." So I think we're pretty much. I mean, she's beyond Jimmy at this point already. I think we're already getting there just because Jimmy was ready to just say, "Okay, we'll try again.
Yeah,
no biggie. What's the rush? We'll try again."
Something's going to happen. She's going to get in trouble, or she's going to try and get Jimmy in trouble, and maybe there's a lawyer.
She may throw him under the bus, and he's not ready for it.
She may throw him, or he might pull the rug under her, kind of like the way he did in
this is the number one
episode
thing
with Mesa Verde. Remember how he pulled the wool under from her?
The number one thing about all this is she's had some near misses. She has not got caught in any of this yet.
No, so
hasn't got caught yet.
So Cliff, everybody
Kim
except for maybe
upstanding.
Howard. Yeah, Howard might be the only person who thinks that she might,
But it's all.
Even Howard.
But even Howard is Jimmy's fault. anything that Kim is being manipulated by Jimmy. So
that's what pissed
Kim,
her off.
right?
That's
so
why she's doing this.
Kim is but Kim is still very clean. She is upstanding in everything.
Yeah,
she has not been caught or even suspected of any. Well, Howard a little bit.
Nope, she's got good relationships across the board.
Everybody thinks she's an upstanding, good, very good attorney who is doing all this pro bono work because she's a great person.
Yep.
And I think you guys are right. Probably the moment something bad's going to happen here, and they're gonna see that she's down in the muck with Jimmy, and she's either going to panic and throw Jimmy under the bus, or Jimmy's going to take it. Yeah, and it's going to ruin their relationship.
I mean, he's not going to take it. I think he's going to do something. I think he's going to repeat and pull the wool from her. He's going to do something that we don't see coming. Kind of like once again, like I said, with Mesa Verde, with the woman and the copyright thing.
Yeah,
I think something similar is going to happen.
You think Jimmy's going to lose his nerve? Sorry, my son is creeping in here. It's not used to me having the camera on. I think Jimmy's gonna maybe lose his nerve. You think, and just out her, like be like, oh no, abort, and she's like, no, we must crush Howard.
I honestly don't know. But I got to read this. Let's see. I guess I have another question then. Could you envision a development in the second half of the season where it would be justifiable for Jimmy to live in fear of Kim in the future? I think so. I mean, she's obviously becoming the bigger monster between the two of them.
Kim's getting dark.
Yeah, she's turning to the dark side.
I'm going to read this because I was talking to my youngest.
Oh, sorry.
Dude.
Sorry, my bad. Don't pull a Kim on me.
I mean, why not? She could snap. I could dude, when you see her snap, when she
snapped at Howard.
She snapped at Howard. She snapped at she backed Lalo down. Yep. I mean, she's still
scared of Lalo.
She's a tough biatch, man. So yeah. I could definitely see. And look, Saul is he's a pussy, man. So
it's like Mike says. She's made of
better stuff, right? So I think definitely there is a way to do that Kim basically just becomes like an abusive pantswear in the relationship. We'll just say that where she's calling the shots and he's just okay. I can see that. I can definitely see that. And they've done a good job of developing that she does definitely have a switch, and as she turns it on, she can get scary.
Oh yeah, I mean, she knows how to talk. She knows how to talk people down. I mean, you're a lawyer. She's an attorney. She's in that adversarial. She's in those. Being in those adversarial roles does you learn how to deal with that. You learn how to talk. You learn how to talk to people like that. But let's see this. So something striking I've thought about this season. Jimmy really never has been in control of his own destiny through this B show. Through the show, whether it is be pleasing Chuck or Kim or forced to by the cartel. Yeah, I definitely can see that. And the other big thing about Jimmy is he just doesn't change. Like that's the one of the big themes of this is not changing. Whereas Breaking Bad was about changing. Like Walt changes from Mr. what was his name? How did Vince Gilligan put it? Mr. Pibbs or Mr. Dubs? Some very pleasant guy to Scarface. So it was just the other side. Better Call Saul is basically the other side of that coin. So, and of course we had Better Call Saul 1980 says, my first thought was that because Jimmy had to pick to either go to Santa Fe and go back and execute their plan, she was going to hate Saul.
Is that Kim or Jimmy? Kim.
Kimmy? My first thought was that because Kimmy had to pick to either go to Santa Fe and go back and execute her plan, she was going to hate Saul. Oh,
I don't know about that because Saul let her off the hook. I mean, Saul's basically she fully made this. I mean, he was there was no like, hey, get back here. We gotta figure out how we're gonna execute this plan. We, it's ruined. It's blown up in our face. We got to figure this out now.
Yeah.
Jimmy's take on it was, we're blown.
Yeah.
Let's walk away and start over.
Let's walk away.
That was Jimmy's
live
take.
To fight. Live to fight. Yeah. He who fights that runs away lives to fight.
So whether Kim resents that because the plan failed, maybe that, but I don't know about the initial thought of I don't know about the initial decision to go back and try and salvage things. But they've been this plan has been them together from the start, so that would be pretty one-sided. But when you go nuts,
yeah,
you don't have to make sense when you're crazy.
So yeah, my takeaway for the overall theme of the show is to not let others choose your path. That's how Jimmy got to where he is now. Letting others. The overall theme for the show is to not let others choose their path. What's up?
It's been crawling behind my chair, going. It's like, all right, you can get out.
Yeah, that's what kids do. My friend, I had my friend on. His 2-year-old was like crawling all over him, and
yeah, he's just crawling behind me on the chair. It's like, do you want to get up and wave? Fine, go ahead. It's okay.
Yeah,
there he goes again.
Yep, there he is. Rolling on
the ground. Sorry.
I used to do that too. I used to do that as a kid too. So
do we all?
But okay, Mr. Chips. It was Mr. Chips, the movie. I have not seen that movie. I think it's an old '60s movie, an old '50s or '60s.
I don't
movie,
know.
So.
Yeah, that's.
Okay. Better Call Saul 1980 says, but I mean that she has to be the one that has to do it. You know what I mean? Okay, yeah.
She has to take control. Was that he's called her to take care of it? Maybe. I mean, maybe. I mean, they're in this together.
Maybe he called to get her permissions. Like, hey, maybe we should, abort. And she's like, no.
Well, I mean, yeah, maybe it's like, you should have just done it. You shouldn't have called me. Jimmy's in a no-win situation there. He either doesn't do it, and she's pissed that he doesn't do it. He calls her, and she decides to come back and try and execute it, and she's pissed at her because he called. It's one of those. Yeah. And you're right. I guess she could harbor some resentment, probably not fairly, because he's in a no-win situation. He's done. Honestly, I think Jimmy made the best decision possible under the situation. Was called my partner, informed the partner that we're screwed, abort, we'll do it over, go take care of your thing. And she said, nope. And it's like, all right, you're the boss. Let's do it.
I can't. Yeah. So I'm just curious what's going to happen next week. The trailer. I'm sure you saw the trailer. The trailer was pretty vague.
I didn't, to be honest, because I watched it and said, gotta get on here. I'm already late. So
I was like, I was yelling about you the whole time. I was like, where the F is he? Where is he? Where is he? So
where'd he go? Leave me high and dry. That's why. Okay, so that's actually why you just left me here by myself with my pants down.
No, that was the freaking internet. I don't know if it was StreamYard or the internet itself. So, other than that, I thought this episode was a good.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good 4.3, 4.4 out of 5.
It
wasn't the best. Was it better than last week? No,
me.
I don't think it was better than last week. But
I think it's my least favorite of the season.
You think so? Even worse?
Yeah,
I think so. Episode 4.
I think so, just because we sort of expected the downturn after the Nacho episode.
Yeah.
And we still got some stuff in episode 4. I think the reason this one is my least favorite, and it's probably not fair to it, was I was just expecting a little bit more Lalo and a little bit more stuff to happen. I mean, there's, I think somebody said it's just, a lot of filler in this one, and it was short. It was really short compared to some of the other. I mean, 50. Yeah. I mean, we had a few hour episodes this season. This one was 45 minutes.
This ended this ended like 9 p.m. So I had like time to prep. So I said 9:15. So
it was pretty short. So it was like, So yeah, definitely my least favorite of the season. Not that it was that bad. It's just
no. It's like Tom says right here. It's another setup episode. So,
yeah,
and I
yeah.
going
We
into
just
this,
had
that's what I thought it was too.
well, we just had two of those. That's what makes it. It's okay. So, it's it yeah. We've just had two filler episodes building information. We now have one episode till break. I hope it's an hour episode. They got quite a now my fear is, what do you think? My fear is Lalo's not going to be back stateside till second half.
That's what I'm suspecting too.
I think they're going to have him wrap up he's going to get his aha, I have proof at the end of this episode. Jimmy and Kim's plan is going to explode in their face, and it's not going to work. They're somehow gonna, like, wouldn't that be a bitch if, like, they somehow just destroy the whole Sandpiper thing and he loses all his stake?
I didn't even think about that.
Like, because Jimmy is not like well off in Breaking Bad.
Well, I mean, he has that. I mean, you saw that house, you saw the mansion he has.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
In the beginning.
Well, it could be Kim's. Maybe Kim divorces him and takes all no prenup. Takes all the moolah.
And possibly, and probably quite a bit of it. I'm sure he keeps quite a bit of it for himself. Obviously, that house is not cheap.
Yeah,
and he has
he's got a lot of
like mountains of shoes and
got a lot of suits. Yeah,
he's got a golden toilet. He's got a golden toilet.
He's kind of the cartel for how long? I mean, God, he's got to make money hand over fist.
Well, yeah, that too.
So. I mean, money that he's not putting into. I mean, he's not putting that money in a bank. So I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, so I'm thinking
another idea.
So Kim is. Yeah, I agree with the 1980 on this one. I agree that I think Kim is basically Walter White. Like she's I agree. She's like a ticking time bomb. She's like a wild card at this point. Like you don't know what she's going to do. And she's getting less and less predictable as the show goes on. Like I didn't think they would go. Honestly, I did not see her going total dark side the way they showed at the end of last season.
Well, and I think that's why they showed the mother scene at the beginning of this episode was just this is her young role model. Basically con artist extraordinaire, and teaching her, taught her how to do it, basically, right? So I mean,
you're not the only one that was expecting more out of this episode. Joker feels the same way, and yes, he agrees about that's why I think Jimmy is at least partially fleeing Kim at the end of Breaking Bad. So it looks like everybody.
I mean, he could be because she's pissed at him for blowing it.
Breaking Bad confirms that he's been divorced 3 times, and in Better Call Saul, he's been divorced twice. So I'm assuming Kim is the 3rd divorce. So they're already divorced.
Yeah.
So I think I'd have to rewatch I plan rewatching Breaking Bad in between. I'm gonna reactivate my Netflix account to watch Stranger Things, which is coming out in a week.
I already watched it.
You watch the new season?
No. How would I do that?
Maybe you're related to the CEO of Netflix.
Then why am I?
Maybe you're related to the Duffer Brothers.
I got to get to London for some of these premieres. No, sorry.
You mean Oxford? Oxford, like a certain Tolkien professor?
Yeah. Okay, I gotta why am I not at some of these premieres so I can talk? Say how good everything is.
Well, Amazon flies you out and they have you sign, agreements and stuff. You can't say what you want to say.
No, you gotta
have to say what
as long as I get my goodie bag full of cash and.
It's like Amazon's like the cartel in this case. Like you go against them, they can.
Yeah, that's another whole discussion, but it's amazing how take a bunch of on the fence YouTubers and fan sites, take them to London, and all of a sudden they come back and okay, sorry, getting off track. I watched season 1 through 3 of Stranger Things in preparation for season 4. So
yeah, I plan on doing a stream the day before the Thursday because it launches on Friday, so I'm planning on doing a Thursday, and I'm trying to. I have one guest in mind. I need another guest, so I think I might have an idea of who to ask.
If you need me, I'm around, brother.
Yeah, I heard some guy named Steve saw the show. I think I just heard that just now.
Yeah, 3 times now. I've seen it 3 times now. So once with my son, once by myself, and once just rewatch. So I'm not an expert on anything except for maybe Wheel of Time, but
Oh, yeah, I have to read those. I only read the first one, so. But yeah, so anything else?
Getting off track.
Saul had enough money to pay Ed in cash. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And I thought he said that he had 3 marriages, not 3 divorces. I may be wrong. Oh, I heard 3 divorces, 3 marriages, but I assumed 3 divorces. I thought there were 3 divorces. I have to rewatch it.
I am in the. I didn't just start, but I'm in the middle of Breaking Bad, right where Saul shows up. So,
season 2.
Yeah. So
it wasn't me. It was Ignacio. Did Lalo send you? Yeah. That okay.
Yeah, and then Jesse.
I love how
Jesse and Walt completely blow that whole thing, and he's like, all right,
because he coughs. He's like, Mr. Mayhew. He's like Mr. Mayhew because he's pretending to be Badger's father. Or uncle.
It's worth watching just because he takes over. He just takes over the whole. He's like, all right, you guys definitely are. This is not your deal.
Yeah.
But I just got to. I'm just after that point, so I'll have to check it out, see if I can get that tidbit.
Yeah. So okay. So that makes sense. So yeah, I think 2 hours. So we've been talking for a while. So.
Oh, sorry, dude.
No, I'm not mad. I'll just blame I'll just blame the system.
Well,
I'll blame Jimmy because Jimmy is the one that's really this is the one that's causing all the trouble. So other than that, I liked the episode. I liked all the episodes this season. I felt that this one was another setup episode. I guess it had the least amount going on. So I kind of agree. I think this was not as good as last episode. It definitely wasn't as good as episode 3 or the premiere. And even episode 4 I think was better because episode 4 had an awesome, that thing with the prostitute, that little mission. That was hilarious. So this just didn't have that. This was just like, once again, more setup. This is basically setting up the mid-season finale.
I mean, there was more forward motion, at least. I mean, at least it didn't stagnate anything. Everything's still moving forward, even if it's sort of at a snail's pace. I feel like we've this was literally a day. It seemed like one day. I feel like the rest of the episodes have been like over, and even if they haven't been, like, I don't know if that's accurate or not, but I don't feel like it's just been like a day. This one felt like it was just like, okay, we woke up in the morning, went to bed at night.
For all my theories, I don't have a theory for D-Day. You two or any other chatters have any theories? I'm thinking they're gonna try and showcase. It's like what?
Well, Jimmy has to be a part of that meeting, right?
Which one?
The Sandpiper one. Doesn't Jimmy have to be involved? Because he's a part of it, right? I mean, he doesn't have to be a speaker, but doesn't he have to, or have at least have the right to be in the meeting? No,
not necessarily. I don't think so.
I wasn't sure. Because I mean, he could be in the meeting and just start blowing it up.
Well, they're obviously going to use that. Honestly, I don't know. My mind's a complete blank right now. So
well, now I don't know. Like, obviously. I think I don't know. I think it might have turned into a character debate in the middle of the meeting with all the Sandpiper people. But you're right, because Jimmy's calling the spy because that's why he got the access code. So obviously he's not going to be there. But so what? So that I guess that brings up the interesting question: why all the setup with the money and the drugs to accuse Jimmy of being high. Like, I don't understand where that's leading.
I don't know either. I have to rewatch the episode. Maybe I'll get some maybe I'll get a little bit more insight when I rewatch the episode. So.
Yeah, because it's one of those. You would think you would have to be at the meeting for that to have any, and him start getting into it. Howard can be like, he's high right now, or something. Something to that effect to just sort of, make Howard lose more credibility. Yeah, it'd be interesting. That's another thing that the board that they set up might be an interesting look at to see if there's any hints to things they've set up for that meeting too, because it's all led to this has obviously been the plan to blow up this meeting and get him to settle and make Howard look bad.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see. I don't know, to be perfectly honest. So, but other than that, I think this is where we're gonna close the stream and stuff. So,
yes, sir.
Yeah. So I still love the episode, and I don't think episode 7 is gonna have that big, gotcha moment like with Hank. Hank finding out that WW is Walter in the bathroom, which was I thought that was a great. I didn't realize it because I binge watched Breaking Bad that it was, but that was the finale for the first half of the final season. So, but other than that, I think it's just going to lead. Lalo's going to find out, and then the first 3 episodes of the second half is going to deal with Lalo. Then the final 3 is going to be the ultimate fate of Saul as Gene. That's why I think
I hope. I mean, I think that would be good. That would be good. I'm hoping they don't try and jam all the Gene stuff into one episode. That's my fear at this point.
I think the final 3 are going to be Gene, all 3 episodes.
It'd be nice. I hope.
That's why they have 13 instead of 10 like they usually do. So, other than that, yeah. But other than that, everybody, Tom Forsyth had the perfect thing. He says, the stream was acceptable. All right. And I want to recommend our Spice Girls.
All right. Oh, Spice Girls. That's the Spice Girls.
Not the Spice Girls.
I thought you said Spice.
Like, I want you to try our Spice Girls.
I thought you said Spice Girls. I'm like, what did I miss? Spice Girls.
The 90s.
No, well, I was there. I was there for the Spice Girls.
They want their Spice Girls back.
They can have them. I'm good.
The church star called. They're running out of you. Well, you're their all-time bestseller. I had sex with your wife. His wife's in a coma. Seinfeld. I love it. I love Seinfeld. Other than everybody have a good night. Stay safe. See you next week for the finale. I can't wait.
Good night.